Nigeria, despite our difficulties, God has kept us together because of the voices of people like Pa Edwin Clark. So clearly, his labor and labors were not in vain. And for those in the social media who like to tweet, Nigeria has an unregulated social media system. So they let them wallow in it and then take a disadvantaged situation and propagate all sorts of falsehood and all sorts of narratives. Some of them in the social media were not even born when Pa Edwin Clark was very active in service. And so they couldn't have known some of the things he did that we are remembering today. And yet, when somebody makes a statement that the labors of our heroes past are in vain, I beg to disagree. Let our brother Peter Obi show leadership like Edwin Clark did by resolving first the crisis in the Labour Party. For a man who wants to run Nigeria, you have one of the smallest parties in Nigeria, and you cannot even resolve the crisis in that Labour Party. Is it the crisis of Boko Haram that you will come and resolve in Nigeria? I would like us to be known for what we did when we had the opportunities. As I speak now, I can tell you about the dualized thoroughfares in my state. I can tell about the flyovers in my state. I can tell about the best international hospital in my state. I can tell you about the monuments of government houses that are built, both for the governor and deputy. I'm one of the best digitalized governor's office in Nigeria. I can tell you about the best international stadium in West Africa. I can tell you about the free and compulsory education that I did for all Nigerians. I can tell you about the unity I brought in religion by sponsoring over 5,800 Muslims to the Holy Land and over 12 to 15,000 Christians to Rome and to Jerusalem. But then, those who are aspiring as presidential candidates and trying to cause division with their mouths, using the social media, tell them to resolve the small crisis in the smallest party they have in Nigeria first, before they come to talk about the larger Nigeria. But for the social media, it is unregulated. I wish you luck as you have a field day. I'm saying this because this is what Pa Edwin Clark would have advised if he were alive. So I've started to speak his voice.
Can you imagine that? Godswill Akpabio trying to take a swipe at Peter Obi, saying that Peter Obi should fix Labour Party if he aspires to be the president of Nigeria. I think this is my analysis of what I think Obi was trying to say, because you have to put it in the right context. Peter Obi was trying to say that Pa Edwin Clark, Pa Banjo, the work that they did to get Nigeria to this particular level. If you look at the people occupying the office in our political spheres at the moment, if you look at the likes of Akpabio, if you look at the likes of Bola Tinubu, without even calling their names, they made their work, they put their work to make it look like it's in vain. Their work is in vain. That's why when he said that, where are those people who were protesting when Jonathan increased fuel price? And this is the reason why I said at that particular time, I didn't think it was right when he said they shouldn't have protested. They should have protested when Jonathan increased fuel price. You know, but the context with which Peter Obi put what he was trying to say was that if you look at these corrupt politicians who are occupying political offices, they've now made the work that the likes of Pa Edwin Clark do, or they did at the time rather, in vain. That's what he was trying to convey in that meeting, in that statement he made during the remembrance of Pa Edwin Clark. So for Akpabio, a man mad in so much corruption, to come and say Peter Obi should go fix the Labour Party, where we know that the Labour Party is only in the state where it is at right now because of external factors, like the sponsorship of chaos within the political party from external factors, like in places like APC has been alleged. But before we even go into this, If you're meeting this content for the first time, like, share, and subscribe. And if you've been following us, also do the same thing as well. And make sure you watch this to the end. Talking about Akpabio, a man has been alleged. Now, remember, he was governor between 2007 and 2015. Akpabio was alleged to have stolen or diverted over 100 billion from Akwa Ibom state funds. The man was there tooting his own horn, telling us what he did in his state. He was alleged to have spent and diverted 100 billion naira from Akwa Ibom State's fund. This man. Now, when he now became Minister for Niger Delta Development Commission, the first thing EFCC investigated him was about 440 billion misappropriation. 40 billion fraud. EFCC investigated this man, Godswill Akpabio. There were also contract irregularities, worth about 81.5 billion that was awarded, contract that were awarded without going through proper due process. Akpabio did that. Then diversion of funds. When they carried out audit, they found out about 19.25 billion was intended for regional development was allegedly diverted for personal to personal accounts. So if you look at how much EFCC investigated this man alone for NDDC alone, you will see it will total close to about 440 billion. That's aside the 100 billion from Akwa Ibom State's fund. And this Godswill Akpabio says is speaking in the voice of Pa Edwin Clark. And he also mentioned, this is where the insult is even more. He mentioned that some of us were not even born when Pa Edwin Clark was doing his advocacy. Funny enough for him, what he does not realize is that what Pa Edwin Clark was fighting for is exactly what we are fighting for today. Good governance, eradication of corruption, development for those people that are from the Niger Delta areas, something that he benefited from. Restructuring and true federalism for Nigeria. And he fought for his own people, the Ijaw nation, and obviously for education. Look at the state of our education today, where corrupt politicians have literally looted the funds that were meant to build the nation into their own personal pocket. Let's talk about good governance. We push for transparency, Pa Edwin Clark, and accountability. When Natasha Akpoti accused this guy of sexual harassment, what would he have done? What should he have done for good governance sake? Step aside, get somebody else to investigate the matter and make it come to look like, oh, okay, you know what? I didn't do anything. Natasha Akpoti was wrong. Nigerians will go to Natasha Akpoti, you were wrong. You deserve to be suspended. Akpabio did not do that. And he wants to speak in the voice of Pa Edwin Clark. Anti-corruption. I just read that out to you earlier. Akpabio accused of alone one person of nearly 240 billion. If you take the allegations of the Niger Delta and the 100 billion from Akwa Ibom state funds, that EFCC investigated him up until 2023 before he became Senate president. And now that investigation is stalled. Close to 240 billion, like Akpabio alone. So corruption, he was involved. The same Niger Delta that Pa Edwin Clark fought for, where he became minister, alone, one person close to 140 billion, Akpabio. And this man says he's speaking in the voice of Pa Edwin Clark, that's what Pa Edwin Clark would have said. What Pa Edwin Clark would have said would be, like, for good governance, like Senator Akpabio, you should have stepped aside so that you can be investigated to see whether or not Natasha Akpoti's allegations were right. That's what Pa Edwin Clark would have said. Anti-corruption cases, you were accused of funds, corruption, and fraud when you were NDDC minister. You should not have contested for election until you were cleared and you've been investigated. Now, in 2019, a professor was accused of rigging election in your favor, even though you lost the election. Now he's going to jail. You should have resigned for transparency and good governance. You did not do that. That's what Pa Edwin Clark would have said. So stop telling us for us on social media, trying to come up. We're not coming up with anything. We're seeing the report. We didn't make this report up. EFCC brought these charges against you. EFCC's put these charges on hold because you became number 3 man in the Senate. And then you are saying that you would not have resigned. And then you're speaking in the voice of Pa Edwin Clark. Don't try and twist Peter Obi's words. My own analysis is as simple as it is. Peter Obi only wanted to communicate, or was communicating in this sense. The works of Pa Edwin Clark, the works of Ayoba Adebanjo, the works of those heroes past, that work that they did to make sure Nigeria has true federalism and is properly restructured, that work was to give birth to a country that is free from corruption, that has good governance. Whereas our system recognizes that everyone is equal before the law and is an egalitarian society where we have good opportunities politically, economically, and otherwise. But not one where you sit in high horses and you steal, and then you tell everybody else to follow what you say, not what you do. That's what Pa Edwin Clark would have fought for or would have said. So I'm telling you right now, Nigerians, don't keep quiet, because what we're doing is working. If it wasn't working, these guys would have continued doing what they're doing. Before, they didn't care. They didn't care about what we thought or what we wanted for Nigeria. It's because of this citizen advocacy and citizen journalism. That's why they're sitting up. Before, Nigerians didn't bother about governance. And this is one of the things that Pa Edwin Clark fought for. The citizen being involved in their own governance, not letting politicians choose and pick how they will govern them. So they're only sitting up right now because we're speaking up. And we must continue to speak up. If not, they will not sit up. Again, as I said, from NDDC alone, when he was Minister of NDDC, this man was alleged to have, fraud cases totaling up to 140 billion. It was aside 100 billion from Akwa Ibom State Funds. So this guy alone would have said, if we put them all together, 240 billion. What is Akpabio telling Nigerians? So you're slamming Peter Obi, where all over your face is written corruption. So let us know in the comment section what you think. For Akpabio trying to slam Peter Obi, we know this is political move anyway, and they can see the uprising coming come 2027, that Nigerians don't want them. So, but yes, let us know what you think in the comment section. Do you agree with my analysis of what Peter Obi was trying to say, or do you think that Akpabio was right to slam Peter Obi to say that the efforts of our heroes past are in vain? Because you got to put that in context as well. Or do you just look at Akpabio and think this man with corruption and all other allegations against him is the one speaking? Let us know what you think. But again, remember, 2027 is the fight for the soul of our country. Let's don't stop. Let's make sure that they work for us, because they're supposed to be our public servant. That's what it means to be a senator, irrespective of your position within the Senate. You're a public servant. You're meant to serve the people, not the people serving you. Again, if you're meeting this content for the first time, like, share, and subscribe. And if you've been following us and you've not subscribed, please do so. As always, I will catch you in the next video. God bless you. Bye-bye for now.